Now pay attention because it is getting wild today.
Hey, y'all gonna leave the community and talking about better the community. How you gonna leave the community, man, leaving us out here all by ourselves? Y'all supposed to be so-called leaders, so-called Negro bourgeois, snob, Uncle Tom. What's wrong with y'all anyway, man? Y'all come out, you talking about buying a new house, y'all be buying you some guns, some ammunition, man, for this revolution. You talking about moving a new community to a new house? How you gonna, what you gonna do to a new house? New houses and clothes and all this. What you gonna do with all that old stuff, man? When the stuff come down, man, your kids. What's wrong with, what about the rest of the kids, man? You ought to stay out here, man, and help somebody.
Rebuild this down here?
Yeah, rebuild it, man, from the ground up, man. This, man, you know, construction and all that. We got people who ain't got jobs, man, need homes. Good niggas, huh? That's what you gonna be
down here?
What you gonna be down here, huh? Man, you missing this black dignity thing, this black pride, man. You doing good. You good niggas all alike, man. I don't know what's wrong with y'all, man. Yeah, bourgeois. Oh, you're Tom. You tell me you're Tom, huh? Good nigga. Okay. Play on then, Uncle Tom.
The black militants feel very often that the so-called middle-class Negro is the same as the middle-class white man. He's indifferent to his problems.
The middle-class Negro was looked at by militants as a brown-skinned person, but with the same internal mixtures of beliefs and values that made up the average white person. And apparently, they cared about themselves and were indifferent to the community.
I think the militants are against Negroes moving into a middle-class neighborhood and trying to lose their identity.
Trying to lose what identity? The collective feeling of having a black consciousness. He suspects that the militants didn't want him to move because he would lose that shared bond. And essentially the next generation would assimilate more to the white consciousness.
It's difficult today to be a middle-class Negro because we're sort of in between. The mass Negro, we say here, is usually hostile toward us, and also the Caucasians are also hostile to all groups, so we are a part of that hostility.
When they tried to rise, they felt Negroes pulling them down and the whites pushing them down.
David, we're going to be moving to a new neighborhood.
Why? I don't want to.
Well, it's not what you want. I think it's best for you and the family.
I understand why Jim Scott would want to move into a white neighborhood, simply because he's interested in finding better conveniences for himself and for his family.
I think if a Negro would be able to find a good home within a Negro neighborhood, I believe he would probably stay in the Negro neighborhood.
Why only probably? Because some Negroes would have left regardless, since proximity to whites was their goal. Other Negroes would have left simply because of the cultural norms. And that's regardless if they had nice homes or not, or if they had all the conveniences. They still would have got up out of there.
However, as it stands now, it seems as though most of the good homes are in a white neighborhood, and because he wants a decent home, a decent neighborhood to raise his children in, he'll move into the neighborhood.
Because he aspires to have the same thing that the white man has. The white man says, this is good, this is what you're supposed to have. This is what I've raised you to have. So as soon as he gets in position, he wants to have it.
Have what? Single family homes, expensive cars, a lot of material goods, better schools, and anything else that was perceived to raise status according to how they had been raised by whites.
I assume that he would want to live in a white neighborhood or any other neighborhood because he's supposed to be an American citizen.
Personally, it was for better schools for our children, which did not exist in the city schools or in the ghetto schools, we'll put it that way.
I think the middle-class Negro is striving to give his child what he did not have.
Here it comes.
If he can be accepted by the whites, then his children could mix with them more easily. I think that's the way he feels.
If he could get accepted by the whites, then his children could mix with them. You see what I mean? This was very real for some of them. Now watch this. This is why other Negroes wanted to leave the inner city black neighborhood, because there's a lot of this going on right here. And two very decent parents could still have a very high chance of producing children that behave like this because of how strong the environmental influence is. No matter where you go, the environment is applying pressure on you, which is why it's best to be in one that pressures you towards the goals you have in mind and not against them.
We have gone so far being poor, and finally when you get this chance to get above the ghetto, get above the slums, you're happy, you're enthusiastic about it. And finally, you think that you have made it into America, the American society.
Now, they were already in America, so what American society could she possibly have been referring to? Mainstream white society. That's what she meant by made it. And that's what it meant to a lot of middle-class Negroes, too. Uh-oh, it's getting ready to go down.
Hey, fellas, I'm going to buy a house.
Hey, that's great, Jim. Where are you going to get the money?
Well, with this audit, I've closed today. Plus, I'm going to get a loan from the bank.
Yeah, but you know those interest rates are going up every day.
Well, I think I can manage.
Where are you going to be looking?
Well, I haven't really thought about it yet. I'm looking for a 3-bedroom house. You guys wouldn't know where any homes are available in your neighborhood, would you?
Oh, snaps. He really went for it.
I'm not prejudiced.
Do we hear it? That's the innocence entity speaking. That's the one that started to emerge in many of the whites, because being upfront and prejudiced started to slowly go out of style. Let's hear it speak again.
I'm not prejudiced, but I feel that there's a time and a place for everyone, and I think I stay in my place.
Now, haven't we heard this staying in place talk before? Where does she think her place is? Superior at the top, and Negroes as inferior down at the bottom. And all of this talk right here was just a buttered up version of what she really wanted to say. And you have the keys to clearly decode it when you know the history. Right? It sounds clear as day, even when they try to cover it up. Now let's hear it one more time.
I'm not prejudiced, but I feel that there's a time and a place for everyone, and I think I stay in my place, and I think that eventually that we will all be together. But right now, I just think it's too soon.
She says, I'm not prejudiced, but I don't want anyone with the brown skin living next to me. It's too soon for that. Y'all can do that when I'm gone.
Well, I speak from personal experience on this. I went through it. I tried to sell my house. I tried to sell my house for over 2 years before I succeeded. And when I did succeed, I sold it for little more than half of what I had been offered not too long before the black families moved into the neighborhood.
He tried to hang in there, hoping property values would increase. But lo and behold, they goeth down. That's why many of the whites tried to sell fast, and they would throw the entire community under the bus just to make a quick profit. And the gentleman right here had to learn his lesson the hard way.
Yes, just as I had said, there are 3 bedrooms. I adore Negroes. You'll be the first ones. There's nobody else on the block.
Oh, that was like sweet music to the ears of some blacks. You'll be the first and only Negro in the white community. That was a selling point to some of them. Come on with it.
Well, no, there'd be absolutely no problems at all. Perfectly all right for you to be here. Well, I think if you could come tomorrow night, That would be best, because you are the first ones to come into the district, and maybe it would be better to come at night.
Good people of the planet. She's selling out her white community here. It's getting good. Pay attention.
So you're not coming with me?
No, I'll wait here.
Well, it just depends upon that type of Negro. If they were like the Negro that works for me, a fine, upstanding woman who is proud of being a Negro, proud of her race, clean and industrious, no, I would not mind.
There is a possibility that she was telling the truth, because we have to remember that not every white identified person had the fully fledged supremacy within them, right? A minority only cared if Negroes shared the same culture and values as them, and the skin color was of little to no importance. But again, that was a minority.
But some of them, they're real dirty. But I wouldn't mind it if, they kept the neighborhood clean.
Well, I think most of them don't keep themselves clean. I think the majority of them let their houses run down and everything.
I'm not in favor of either forced segregation nor forced integration. I think that people should be able to decide this for themselves.
And I agree. Because the minute you start trying to force people to live together, that's when you open up a channel for the resistance entity to emerge. Force breeds resistance in any system that has the ability to respond. That's why in slavery, they had to create a complete system that could overwhelm the human's ability to resist, because they knew that entity was going to try to emerge within the slaves. And it did, in instances like the Nat Turner Rebellion and Mr. Frederick Douglass, who found a way to get up out of there. So it's coming when you apply force. That's why it didn't work when they tried to force blacks and whites to live together in the same neighborhood and go to the same schools. Whites left the area, and that was their human system responding to that force. In the last video, the white man said, I don't like it. They're trying to force something on us that we don't want.
I don't like it. I think they're just trying to put something on us that we don't want.
So what do you think is going to happen if you try to force him to live in a neighborhood with blacks? It's not going to work out smoothly, because something like this has to be intentional, and people have to choose to do it and accept it on their own.
My personal preference would be to have white neighbors, and I would not sell to a colored individual, nor would I buy next to one if I could avoid it.
And he has every right to have that personal preference. He shouldn't be forced to live around people he does not want to live around. And he shouldn't be made to feel guilty about having those preferences.
I think that really basically there's a big thing of inferiority and superiority going here, that everyone subconsciously really believes that the Negro is inferior.
Haven't we talked about this? Where did the feeling come from? Colonial times during slavery. Europeans forced brown-skinned people to accept a black identity. Black in Western thought is tied to concepts like gloomy, wicked, dark, and evil. So the idea was to take the rich brown-colored slaves and use them as a vessel to channel the inferiority entity. Then take the very fair-colored Europeans and convince them to identify as white, which represented the opposite of black. And they were supposed to be the channel for the superiority entity, right? Then they created laws, culture, and institution that reinforced those beliefs and cemented them in the consciousness of the society. That's why the lady said that they subconsciously really believe that the Negro is inferior. Because after centuries of conditioning, when you get here to the 1960s, it was already a program running on automatic mode, right? The people don't know why they believe the way they do. They just know they feel that way. Now let's hear it again.
I think that really basically there's a big thing of inferiority and superiority going here, that everyone subconsciously really believes that the Negro is inferior. And this is wonderful because it makes all white people so superior. And you have this marvelous feeling of being just a little bit better than all these black people.
That's the getting high on superiority, like we have talked about before. When you enjoy getting high on something, it makes you want to keep doing it. Feeling superior to others gives a dopamine rush. Now, humans in general get high by convincing ourselves that we are superior to all animals. And whites get even more high by convincing themselves that they are naturally superior to all humans. And just like letting go of many habits that make someone feel good, it has been just as difficult for many whites to let go of the superiority complex. And a lot of them need some help. And one way for them to be helped is for brown-skinned people to stop identifying as black and to stop positioning yourself as their opposite. Because otherwise, you're just contributing to it, whether you understand it or not.
And this is wonderful because it makes all white people so superior. And you have this marvelous feeling of being just a little bit better than all these black people. And consequently, when you have the black people moving into your neighborhood, it suddenly, the bottom drops out. I mean, if these people can move in, then obviously your neighborhood is no longer what you thought it was. It's no longer really very valuable to you.
You see that? In their mind, the blackness was what tainted it. For extreme superiority to exist, it needs to have separation and distance to the thing that it's supposed to be superior to. And the colonizers designed the black identity to be the extreme opposite of the white identity. And neither of the people calling themselves this have any of those complexions. And that's how you know that this was a status label, right? And like she said, if these black people are able to move into the neighborhood, then it's really no good. It doesn't hold value. Because how can black people move into a white neighborhood? To them, it just doesn't make any sense based on how they were conditioned.
If I was her and I was going to sell a house and a colored person come along want to buy it, well, they could buy it, but maybe my neighbors would kill me.
She was another one of the whites who would sell out. They had a bunch of them who were individually minded that would just sell out their community for some profits, right? That's just how it goes.
Mrs. Birmingham, you're leaving us. Yes, I'm leaving. I'm moving away. Who are our new neighbors going to be? Oh, cousins. Just cousins. Cousins. She says it's her cousins that are moving in. Cousins? Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh, it's going down.
Yes?
How do you do? Would you please ask the lady of the house how much milk she needs?
I'm the lady of the house, and I don't need any milk, thank you.
Hello? You're kidding. On this block? Who told you? The milkman?
Yes. Oh, are you sure? Oh, are they clean? How many kids they got? Have you seen them? No? Oh, well, she'd sell her house, didn't she? She probably gave it to him. Yeah, well, what can we do about it? Really, no. Yeah? Well, I'll call Jim. Okay, bye. Well, I'll call them all. Hello? What? Oh, what will we do about our neighborhood parties? I guess we'll have to invite them, too. Well, it's bound to happen. Yes. No. Mary, you call her. I really don't have time. I've got to finish this ironing. All right?
Yes, I've heard it all. The real estate agent called and told us that if we didn't sell quick, he wouldn't guarantee the value.
There we go. Profits over principle for some of them.
When we first moved where we are now, it was sort of half and half. But of course, it only stayed half and half for about, I guess, 3 or 4 months. And it seemed that the whites just disappeared.
As if Jesus had returned and suddenly all whites had been raptured. Right? Like a thief in the night, they had removed themselves so fast from that community.
My roommate and I were the first blacks. The next month, the first white family moved out. And within a 6-month period, all the whites had moved out of the building, and it had become all black.
Well, now we sit down in the ghetto and we joke about it. That's Ghetto West. They're still in the ghetto. They're still black.
You hear that? Ghetto, blacks, all unconsciously tied together into that reputation.
All the whites are leaving the suburb. It's going to turn into all black suburb pretty soon.
What does that mean to him?
So you can see, not only is it difficult to get decent housing, but once you get something that's decent, all the whites all of a sudden get all afraid.
And they got up out of there quickly. And it appears that they were worried about the same thing that he was worried about, which was the community turning all black. Think about that. I thank you right now for your time and attention. My name is Brooklyn St. Michael, and I'll see you in the free world.